world where it's far too easy to get lost in a device, one of the most important things we can do is create space for people to simply be together, to think together, and create an opportunity for dialogue that wouldn't have otherwise existed.
I can drink the distance.
I can drink the distance.
I still say that title over and over again, and it came at a point where I was really connecting through my work to a spirit of ancestorship. And I built the show around the title. So thinking about that connection to that history and the systems who created those deaths and the systems that they defied to create more life. So in relationship to that, the idea of that distance and water for me came as a sort of turning point.
Your work has been very much about thinking about climate change and water and that need of water.
Thinking about water as geography, thinking about water as a way in which blackness has become across the Atlantic, thinking about contemporary water conditions, you know, whether that's Flint, Michigan, whether it's North Carolina, whether it's Newburgh, New York, right? So this sort of universal condition of water as pathways. I talked before about this idea of ecology, ecosystems, and the synergetic way in which they move across the planet. They're all tangled up. There's no clear path. And I'm interested in that density and that beauty that comes out of that density.
It seems that you're troubling, let's say, the traditions of viewership.
I like the idea for the portion of the structure underwater to be zoned, right? So people could kind of climb down and then enter or see at different points.
If you push water through the bottom of the structure all the way to the top, and how that pushes water over the whole thing. I imagine this was what like water looks like over glass.
We don't know quite yet the depth of the water, so we're absolutely speculating. Okay. So I think we should put our best case scenario, both based on our own bodies and our own curiosities, and then adjust that when we figure out more details around the site.
Torkwase Dyson came in as this year's Gwathmey Chair, which is a rotating professorship that was formed in 1993 around art and architecture. She has expanded that to include engineering and to include the humanities, to tackle through those disciplines issues of race, sustainability, new ways of really thinking about the complexity of the world.
Will Villalongo, who teaches painting at the Cooper Union, approached me about inviting Torkwase to come in to teach advanced painting. And when we were in discussion about that, we found out that she was also in discussion with the School of Architecture about an exhibition, that we were talking in two different directions and came together to bring the show to Cooper Union, to bring the class to Cooper Union, and to also work with our faculty and students in collaboration.
No, it's the process persists to establish this space as a sort of think tank, and so to brainstorm during the time of the exhibition. Then ultimately, I don't know if we're coming up with just one proposal or a set of proposals. This we will see, we're not there yet.
When I first came across Torkwase's work directly, I was simply stunned. As you come into this space, you begin to understand the ways in which painting, drawing, line work, sculpture, and the embodiment of space is so much part of the way that she's thinking. You truly appreciate that this is an individual that does not belong in a medium, but rather somebody who's working across media.
What we're going to do is we're going to leave this here throughout the exhibition, and you can always come and fuss with it. Speaking of fuss with things, do you all want to move that space around? I think we should do that. Okay. We should get him off this wall. Ha!
What I didn't understand also was that this is not a static exhibition. It is constantly in motion. She does not speak to students, she engages students. And in their actions, this work gains a completely different life.
So there's a kind of embodiment of time and movement, and of course, again, the body in terms of this kind of drawing. So it's perhaps drawing made physical.
I'm interested in drawing as a happening. And what I really appreciate about drawing in this way is that it lends itself to improvisation. It's drawing in the expanded field that has the capacity to absorb all of these notions of space that I'm thinking about. And then I understand it as a happening and sort of ongoingness that is much related to my sort of fundamental political issues around freedom and space.
The world is complex, and it demands a response to that complexity that is multifaceted. And so one of the things that we've done at the Cooper Union is to place an increasingly high priority on the opportunity for our students, our faculty, our staff to really experiment at the intersections of disciplines.
To give students an opportunity to work with an established artist that already has, say, ideas in art and inside architecture is that opportunity does not come often.
As a collective body, she is challenging us to think about issues of race, of sustainability, about the ways we engage in society that are new.